The story begins on the outer fringes of the Galactic Dominion's territory, a vast multi-species empire that has ruled the known galaxy for thousands of years. The Dominion prides itself on being technologically unmatched, politically unified, and militarily invincible. Anything outside their sphere is dismissed as primitive or irrelevant. So when long-range sensors detect an unknown fleet entering a restricted border sector, no one takes it seriously. The fleet is small, laughably small, only 15 ships, each smaller than a Dominion escort vessel, moving in tight formation without broadcasting identification codes. The ship's energy signatures are unusual, weak by Dominion standards, almost archaic. They don't respond to hails, challenges, or threats. They simply hold position, silently orbiting a dead moon as if waiting for something. High Command, led by the arrogant and flamboyant Fleet Marshal Vrakesh, sees an opportunity to make a public example. He orders the footage of the unknown fleet broadcast to all Dominion citizens, mocking the junkyard parade as an attempt by Backwater pirates to challenge Dominion supremacy. Memes and derisive commentary flood the galactic net. Talk shows feature comedians mocking the ship's boxy utilitarian designs. Analysts speculate that the fleet belongs to a failed colony of some extinct or forgotten race. Vrakesh, eager to boost his political standing, announces a live purging event, a real-time combat feed to demonstrate Dominion firepower and humiliate the mysterious intruders. He dispatches a small elite task force of 5 warships to intercept and destroy the fleet. The event is advertised as entertainment. Schools suspend classes to let children watch. Betting pools open. As the Dominion task force approaches, their commanders exchange jokes over the public channel. One ship sends a message to the fleet. "If you surrender now, we promise to scrap you painlessly." There is no reply. Then the battle begins. It lasts 22 seconds. What happens is unlike anything the Dominion has ever witnessed. The tiny ships move with a precision and agility that defies physics as they know it. Dominion targeting systems fail to lock onto them. One warship explodes before its shields even activate. Another is split in half by what appears to be a kinetic weapon moving at relativistic speeds. The other 3 ships attempt to flee, but one is disassembled mid-flight by invisible drones, its hull peeling apart like paper. The remaining 2 vanish off sensors entirely. Billions of Dominion citizens watching the live feed are stunned into silence. Vrakesh shuts down the broadcast in a panic. In the command chamber, confusion turns to alarm. The fleet, still silent and still unmoving, resumes its orbit around the moon. No transmission, no gloating, just silence. Initial damage reports are worse than expected. There are no survivors from the task force. No escape pods, no distress signals. The destruction was surgical, efficient, cold. The High Command is forced to reevaluate. Suddenly, the fleet isn't a joke, it's a threat. The arrogance begins to crack. Behind closed doors, analysts are ordered to identify the ships, trace their design patterns, and comb ancient records for a match. The only problem? None of the known species built ships like these. But in a dark, forgotten archive, a name flickers to life. Terran. The first seeds of fear are sown. Panic simmers just beneath the surface of the Galactic Dominion's High Command. The annihilation of their task force, broadcast live to billions, has become an unerasable stain on the Dominion's pride. Official. Propaganda tries to spin the incident, a glitch, an unexpected phenomenon, a rogue AI swarm. But the people aren't convinced. More troubling, neither is the military. Fleet Marshal Vrakesh, under mounting pressure from both civilian and military leaders, doubles down. He declares the loss an unacceptable affront and mobilizes a full battle group. 20 warships, including heavy cruisers, shielded carriers, and advanced missile platforms. The mission: obliterate the intruding fleet and restore the Dominion's reputation. As the battle group prepares to jump into the sector, Dominion analysts feverishly comb through footage from the first encounter. Slow-motion replays reveal impossible maneuvers, turns at G-forces that should liquefy any biological crew. Some ships appear to phase out of conventional space entirely, vanishing from radar for microseconds, only to reappear behind Dominion vessels. Energy signatures remain inconsistent with any known tech, and worst of all, none of the ships were even scratched. The fleet that destroyed 5 Dominion warships didn't just win, it didn't take a single casualty. Despite these red flags, Vrakesh pushes forward. His confidence is unshaken. He believes superior numbers and firepower will crush the mysterious fleet. The battle group jumps to the coordinates near the dead moon, expecting either a quick fight or a retreat. But the alien, or rather unknown fleet, is still there. 15 ships. Same tight formation. Still silent. Still motionless. Vrakesh opens comms and broadcasts a single ultimatum. Surrender now or be obliterated by the might of the Dominion. There is no reply. He gives the order to fire. The battle begins and ends faster than the first. In the opening moments, Dominion missiles streak toward the small ships guided by hyper-precision tracking systems. But halfway there, the missiles simply vanish. Some disappear from sensors mid-flight, others explode prematurely as if intercepted by invisible forces. Then, the human fleet moves. This time, it's not just defensive, it's strategic, coordinated. 1 of the enemy ships darts forward with impossible speed and slams an energy pulse into a Dominion cruiser's engine core. The pulse doesn't explode, it erases. The ship folds in on itself as if reality glitches, disappearing into a sphere the size of a fist before vanishing entirely. A Dominion carrier tries to launch fighters, but the hangar bay is sealed from the inside by a swarm of metallic tendrils that seem to grow from nothing. Within seconds, the carrier begins to disassemble itself, bulkhead by bulkhead. The other ships try to flee, but the human fleet herds them, anticipating every evasive maneuver. One by one, the Dominion warships fall. Some implode without visible cause. Others are disabled and left adrift. Not a single return shot hits. It's a massacre and a demonstration. This isn't brute force. It's domination by design. Calculated, precise, and overwhelming. After the battle, the human fleet returns to its original position, as if nothing happened. The Dominion loses over half its battle group. This time, no footage is released to the public. The incident is classified immediately. But it's too late. Across the stars, whispers spread like wildfire. The fleet isn't alien, it's human, and the name Terran begins to circulate in hushed, fearful tones. The devastating loss of a full Dominion battle group shakes the foundation of the Galactic Dominion. The High Command enters crisis mode. For the first time in centuries, the Dominion has encountered an enemy that not only resists their might, but outclasses them entirely. Still, pride blinds many within the upper ranks. Fleet Marshal Vrakesh, refusing to acknowledge failure, insists the mysterious fleet is the work of rogue artificial intelligences or perhaps a rebel faction wielding stolen tech. But behind the curtain doubt spreads. In quiet corners of the Dominion Strategic Analysis Division, a name resurfaces, one that hasn't been spoken in millennia. Humanity. Buried beneath layers of classified archives and forbidden records lies the history of Earth, once a rising species known for dangerous adaptability, creativity, and a refusal to bow to galactic rule. They had defied the Dominion centuries ago, during the early days of its expansion. According to Dominion propaganda, humanity was wiped out after their final defiance, but the truth, long hidden, is more complicated. One Dominion historian, scholar Kin Telvax, uncovers sealed documents labeled Terran Exile Protocol. These files describe how humanity wasn't destroyed but driven into uncharted space beyond the reach of the known galaxy. The reasoning: they were too unpredictable, too advanced in unconventional warfare, and too difficult to control. Rather than risk their own destruction, the Dominion chose to erase humanity from the galactic map and the historical record. Now Telvax cross-references the fleet's attack patterns with ancient records from Earth's last known military engagements. The similarities are undeniable. The unpredictable tactics, the modular ships, The AI-assisted targeting. It's all human. Telvax presents his findings to the Dominion Council. Silence follows. Then Vrakesh laughs. He scoffs at the idea that a forgotten ape species could possibly create something so advanced. Mythology, he calls it, techno-folklore. The Council, caught between ego and fear, dismisses the theory publicly, while secretly ordering all surviving battle footage and sensor data sent to deep analysis labs. Meanwhile, across the Dominion, public speculation surges. With no official explanation, rumors take hold. Civilian networks share leaked clips of the battle. Some show Dominion ships disintegrating mid-flight. Others show the small fleet moving like living beings, dancing through destruction. The name Terran begins trending in underground channels. In a desperate move to regain control of the narrative, Vrakesh orders another show of force. An armada, 60 ships, 2 dreadnoughts, orbital artillery platforms, and scout drones, to converge on the dead moon. He proclaims this force will eradicate the viral fleet and restore confidence in the Dominion's supremacy. But before the armada arrives, something chilling happens. A Dominion salvage crew locates a drifting escape pod near the destroyed battle group's last location. Inside is a small black box glowing faintly with power. They recover it and return it to a command ship. When engineers pry it open, they find a single object, a patch, cloth-woven, dark blue. Emblazoned on it is a stylized white H, and beneath it, a faded emblem, an ancient Terran flag with stars and stripes. The patch is warm, as if deliberately activated. The box suddenly emits a recorded message in Galactic Standard. We remember. Do you? The room goes silent. This time, no one laughs. The realization sets in like a thunderclap. Humanity is back, and they've come prepared. The Dominion's command elite is rattled. The message in the recovered black box, we remember, do you, reverberates through the upper echelons like a ghost's whisper from a buried past. For centuries, humanity had been considered an extinguished threat, a footnote in Dominion conquest lore. But the evidence is undeniable now. Humanity not only survived their exile, they thrived. Fleet Marshal Vrakesh, under growing scrutiny and internal dissent, escalates the situation. He pushes forward the launch of Operation Iron Ring, the largest single military deployment in recent history. Over 60 warships, supported by 2 dreadnoughts and planetary artillery arrays, are dispatched to the moon where the human fleet was last seen. The Dominion's plan is simple: surround, isolate, destroy. In secret, however, several high-ranking strategists voice concerns. The enemy fleet, though numerically inferior, has demonstrated terrifying capabilities. Some ships defy known physics, and the Dominion's most advanced sensors can't even map their exact structure. But Vrakesh, driven more by pride than strategy, silences dissent. He calls the mission a necessary purge of myth and malfunction. As the fleet assembles, something strange happens. The human ships are gone, not destroyed, not defeated. Gone. No wreckage, no energy signatures, just cold space where they once orbited. The Dominion assumes retreat until Dominion satellites across the sector begin going dark one by one. Then, on the bridge of the dreadnought Imperious Vane, Admiral Kir Osval receives a sudden influx of data. Dominion logistics stations, communication, hubs, and fleet relays are being attacked, not by massive fleets but by invisible forces. Munitions vanish before impact. Fuel lines rupture from phantom sabotage. Weapons refuse to lock. Entire crews report hallucinations or neural disorientation. Before losing contact, Osval realizes the unthinkable. The humans are already here. They didn't flee. They infiltrated. And worse, they understand Dominion infrastructure better than Dominion commanders do. Meanwhile, across the Dominion's core systems, an even bolder move unfolds. The Dominion's central AI network, the thought spine which controls everything from traffic grids to defense protocols, detects unauthorized access. At first, it assumes a coding anomaly. Then entire planetary defense platforms begin rerouting commands toward empty space. Civilian comms are flooded with a single phrase looping every few minutes. We were forgotten. We did not forget. The panic spreads faster than Verkesh can contain it. Dominion citizens demand answers. Military commanders on fringe worlds begin to question their orders. For the first time in living memory, the Dominion faces not just a tactical threat, but a psychological one. An invisible enemy, surgically, dismantling their confidence brick by brick. Back at the moon, the Dominion Armada sits in formation, aiming at nothing. Then, all at once, the human fleet returns. Not from hyperspace, not from another direction. They phase into view within the Armada's formation, already positioned between ships, inside firing range. It's not a mistake. It's intentional. The Dominion fleet scrambles to respond, but the humans strike first, in under a minute communications jam. Navigation fails. Shielding collapses. The dreadnought Valorum Eclipse implodes as if crushed by a gravitational spike. Within 5 minutes, half the Dominion fleet is rendered inoperable, and once again, the human ships do not gloat, do not respond. They vanish. The message is clear. You exiled us, you erased us, but now we choose the battlefield. Panic has mutated into something worse, fear laced with doubt. For the first time in the Dominion's expansive, iron-fisted history, its citizens begin to question the very foundations of their empire. Whole sectors fall into disarray. Civilian data hubs are flooded with unfiltered footage of the failed military operations, of ships disappearing mid-battle, of high command orders overwritten in real time. But perhaps most disturbing are the broadcasts. Across dozens of systems, seemingly at random, ancient human transmissions begin to play on civilian channels. Recordings of Earth's past, launch footage of early rockets, grainy video of moon landings, speeches about freedom and resistance, moments of humanity's unyielding defiance. Then come the visuals, flashes of Terran history edited into crisp sequences, cities rebuilt after disasters, soldiers fighting for each other in hopeless odds, a planet of apes who climbed their way to the stars through fire, failure, and fury. The Dominion citizens, long fed a narrative of human extinction, begin to ask questions. If humans were truly eradicated, why do they still exist? And more importantly, how did they become so powerful? In the shadows of this unrest, scholar Kin Telvac secretly meets with a disillusioned Dominion counselor, Jael Rinth. Telvac shares the suppressed archive, the Terran Exile Protocol, signed and executed generations ago. It confirms what few dared whisper. The Dominion never defeated humanity. They couldn't. Instead, they chose to banish the species, sealing them out beyond the edge of mapped space, then erasing their name from all records. They were never destroyed, Telvac says grimly. They were forgotten, but humans, they remember everything. Meanwhile, across the black, the Terran fleet does something unprecedented. They broadcast, openly. It's not a threat, not propaganda, not even military demand. It's a message. A single human commander, visible only as a silhouette, speaks in perfect galactic standard. We were exiled not because we were dangerous, but because we refused to kneel. You erased us from your history thinking we would fade. But humans do not fade, we evolve. We warned you with silence, we showed you with precision. Now we speak, so you'll know what follows was a choice. And it was yours. The message ends, and what follows is a carefully orchestrated series of strikes, but not against military targets. Instead, the Terrans target infrastructure, power grids, defense beacons, interplanetary relays. They disable, not destroy. Entire fleets are left afloat in space with no orders, no logistics, and no way to coordinate. It's strategic paralysis. And still, the Terran ships don't take territory. Don't occupy, don't even remain in known space for long. They appear, cripple, and disappear. Each move whispers the same truth. You do not control us. We are not returning as conquerors. We're returning as consequences. Back in the Dominion's capital, dissension boils. Whispers of rebellion swell as fear turns to frustration. Military leaders begin defecting. A rumor takes hold that humanity now wields a singularity engine, a theoretical device once deemed impossible. If true, it means the Terran ships operate outside time, capable of phasing across distances and realities with no warning. Whether myth or truth, it no longer matters. The galaxy believes in the Terran ghost fleet now, and belief, the Dominion, once taught, is the most dangerous weapon of all. The Dominion stands on the edge of collapse. What began as a simple suppression of a rogue fleet has spiraled into a galaxy-wide reckoning. The illusion of Dominion invincibility, once upheld for centuries by military might, propaganda, and fear, has shattered under the precision and restraint of the Terran response. But the humans don't come to conquer. That's what unnerves the galaxy most. Every strike has been deliberate, surgical. Ships disabled, not destroyed. Colonies bypassed. Civilians untouched. Entire fleets neutralized, then left drifting in space like silent warnings. Not a single attempt has been made to occupy Dominion worlds or seize territory. Instead, the Terrans seem focused on something deeper, breaking the Dominion's narrative. Across the stars, human messages continue. They speak not in threats, but in truths. They reveal the classified Terran exile protocol to the public, proof that the Dominion lied for generations, hiding their decision to banish and erase humanity instead of defeating them. The files include historical footage, recordings of early Terran resistance, and maps of exile routes that lead far beyond the rim. The reaction is swift and volatile. Protests erupt across the Dominion's core worlds. Civilians demand accountability. Minor systems begin declaring autonomy, cutting ties with Dominion authority. In some fringe sectors, even military commanders choose to side with the truth, offering neutrality pacts to the Terrans in exchange for safe disarmament. The Terran fleet accepts these overtures, not with dominance, but with quiet acknowledgement. Ships arrive, deactivate local weapons, provide blueprints for peaceful tech decommissioning, then vanish. It's not warfare, it's liberation. Inside the Dominion's crumbling command structure, Fleet Marshal Verkesh refuses to stand down. Desperate and humiliated, he orders the activation of the Sunspear Array, a doomsday weapon capable of incinerating an entire planetary system. His target, the suspected origin world of the Terran fleet. He believes a single act of overwhelming destruction will restore order through terror, but the Terrans are already ahead. As the Sunspear warms, Dominion engineers report system anomalies. Cooling nodes fail. Power routes invert. Then the control hub locks out all Dominion input. A voice speaks from every screen across every deck. We warned you. We restrained ourselves. We left your people untouched. You chose escalation. So now, this ends. The weapon implodes before firing, collapsing in on itself with terrifying precision. Not an explosion, an erasure. Space where it once existed folds like paper, leaving only silence. It's humanity's final warning. Shortly after, the Terrans transmit one last message. No threats, no fanfare, just clarity. We do not seek vengeance. We do not demand surrender. We only require this. Let our name be remembered. Let history tell the truth. Let the galaxy learn. You do not mock extinction survivors. You respect them. With that, the Terran fleet disappears from known space. No ships remain. No trace, no signature. Just a galaxy forever changed. The Dominion fractures days later. Regional governments form. Civilian councils rise. Entire species begin re-evaluating their place in the galaxy. And far beyond the rim, unseen and unbothered, humanity watches. They were cast out as relics. They returned as retribution with restraint. They proved not that they could destroy the galaxy, but that they chose not to. And in that terrifying mercy, the galaxy finally understood. The humans had never been weak. They had only been waiting.